Hello and welcome back to BlueWolfGamers. It's Andrew here doing the second part of my rundown of the VOLTZ mod pack. First things first, there may be some odd noises in the background. I was listening to a YouTube video and unfortunately my mic was still plugged in, so it was recording some sound in the background. So if I'm not the only thing you're hearing, I do apologise. This is me playing around with grenades. You saw the frag one just before. This is the shrapnel grenade. Basically just explodes into fire, and I think it's like an arrow entity with fire on it. But the shrapnel grenade I showed you last time, that's why I didn't comment on it. The grenades are pretty cool actually. Some of them may not look as effective as they are, such as this one, which is the attraction grenade, which pulls things towards it, which doesn't seem to work on NPCs but works on you. So you'll see when it goes off. There, I'd get pulled straight towards it. It doesn't seem to work for NPCs for some reason. And the same with the repulsive grenade. It doesn't work with NPCs but affects me perfectly, which is fine. So there I go flying into space. And I'm gonna go space. This one I quite like, because it's called the anvil grenade. And I didn't think it would be this literal. I didn't think it would be that literal as to explode into despawning anvils, but they do the same damage as an anvil dropping. As you know, you can make anvils in game and drop them on NPCs' heads, and they do the same sort of damage. I'm just reaching for a drink because I've just realised I'm really thirsty. This one is the chemical grenade, I think. So basically, if it does nothing, then it's a chemical grenade. Yeah, it's a chemical grenade. It hits you for poison damage, and that one does affect mobs, which is bizarre. This one really affects mobs. It's the incendiary grenade, and I didn't quite expect two of them to do this. Right? I didn't think it'd be that extensive, that it would burn that much. There was last time the episode ended a bit prematurely because I completely crashed out. The grenades, I was going to show you more of the rockets and stuff, which I will get to. I don't know what the laser designator does, I haven't looked it up yet. And there will be more parts after this one, simply because my computer melted down again on this world. So I'm going to have to do everything else from a different world now, which is slightly annoying. So here we are in the new world. Just loaded up a new one, placed in, and this one appears to be working slightly better. So I'm just going to run through all the rockets apart from the bog standard one, which is just a block of TNT, and the shrapnel one, I think, because the shrapnel one just explodes into a big ball of shrapnel. And that applies to the red and blue ones as well, if they're just copies. So yeah, that's the incendiary one, which is like, wow, pyromania, I think is the best way to describe it. So I just turned on the rain to try and get rid of some of the fire, which worked well. But I do recommend using caution with all of these missiles, and especially the mod pack. It's so experimental. If you like your world, don't try it. Is probably the easiest way to explain, because this is the third world I've had that's just crashed out on me, and I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what this one is. I think that's the ballistic one. That's the red matter one. There will be at least another part after this, because this world crashed out as well. A bit later, at the end of the video, this world completely crashed out on me. Right before I was about to show you what the red matter and particle one does. I can't remember what the particle one's called. You know the one I mean, the two boss ones that I mentioned in the first video. So they will have to wait until the third one, so sorry, which I'll record tomorrow. As well as a little Easter egg thing, which I was asked to do at school. They said, to the guys that work on the channel, said, you know what would be great if you could launch all the rockets at the same time. That'd be cool. Just melt my computer even more. Don't know what that one was supposed to do. It just hit the ground, went poof. I think that's one of them. That there are several rockets, like the grenades, that you need to be out of creative mode or not flying for them to affect you. Unfortunately, I wasn't, so yeah, but just imagine it as a bigger, effective grenade. So this is the anvil rocket, which, well, what did you expect it to be, going by what the anvil grenade is? Except it's even more extensive and ridiculous, and just boom! Boom explosion! Into death. That will just kill everything in the area, basically. It doesn't look like much, but it will absolutely destroy them. This is a breaching missile, which, at least I think this is a breaching missile. Unprofessional. But when was I supposed to be professional? This one is, if this is the breaching one, it works in quite a clever way, because it doesn't create a big area of effect explosion. It just tunnels. Yeah, I think that's the first level of the breaching one, which just makes a little hole in the ground, but it's directed to getting through walls, so presumably it does more damage if you use it to kind of bunker buster. Let's get rid of that. There's pop-ups all over my computer while I'm trying to record this. Yeah, this one is this might be the chemical one. Ooh. Got a bit close to the mic there. Whoops. Yeah, this might be the chemical one. It might not be. I can't remember. I'm useless. Consent. I was told you what you were firing. That's the one problem with this, is I don't pay attention enough while I'm recording this to actually know what I'm firing. I'm just gonna have to go by what the explosion looked like. I don't know, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I think I was just getting rid of some tabs while I was doing that. Tabs on the computer, not cigarettes. Yeah, don't know what that one was. If you look on the thing, you see it just said endothermic missile. If you just look on that, you'll see what they're called. This one's the endothermic missile, the first of the blues. The basic way it works, as I explained in video 1, is greens are potholes in the ground, blues are bunker busters and they're like terrorist car bombs, and then the red ones are like city destroyers, and then the two top ones, the antimatter one and the red matter one, they're like world destroyers. They are, well, probably computer destroyers as well. That's basically how it works in my experience. Yeah, this one is the one, I think I showed this in video 1, that I really didn't know what it was supposed to do. But all it did this time was freeze me in place, so I think it has an area effect of just freezing stuff. But to be honest, I really don't know. It's even in game mode 1, game mode 0 or 1, game mode 1, game mode 0, game mode 0, I think. Even in game mode 0, it didn't really do anything apart from suspend me in place. So, okay, really don't know what that was supposed to do. Actually, I'm going to show now the the anti-gravity one. I accidentally did the anti-gravity one instead of the hypersonic one. I wasn't gonna show the anti-grav one first, but whatever. I think this broke slightly when I was doing it, the anti-grav, because it sort of bugged. Well, actually, literally everything I've used is bugged, and that's me realizing there's something better than an advanced battery. Because I had it sucked up the solar generators, they were just being slow, so I was powering it by battery. But it was doing it fairly quickly, so meh. And yeah, the anti-grav one, it froze for a second, but I was surprised at how well it caught up. Also, anti-gravs suspend you and therefore probably other mobs as well. In the same way as they do blocks, which is it's a nice feature. So it means that you can tear down somebody's house and fly them to the moon. I think it bugged slightly because it had a really weird area effect that wouldn't let me to the bottom of it until it froze everything in place. Which it's experimental, I think, is the only way to kind of describe it. But it just stuck blocks in trees before they phased, and did that on the ground, and I can't get near it, and it did weird things. So what I'm going to show next, the the Ender missile? Yeah, or hypersonic missile. I don't know. Work dead brain. There we go. The hypersonic missile. Bit like the sonic missile, or the sonic bomb, which I showed in the first part. Except even more ridiculous and more destructive and more fun, to be honest. Because it does this. Again, I'm quite surprised at how well it caught up with that. And rains blocks all over your landscape. And takes out a massive chunk in the ground. Ugh. So the cleanup job for one of those is a bit much. Some of the missiles I show you may have crossover with the first video. That's just because I didn't know which one I'd launched, so I just decided to start from square one. I think this is the Ender rocket. I screwed myself over doing this, but I guess it's a word of warning. Don't walk into what it drops, even in creative mode. So you'll see when it hits. Yeah, it has like the weird purple field. If you walk into it, or well, actually, if you walk anywhere near it, you're pulled towards it, and then you're shoved into the end, which is evil. So I just decided to kill myself instead of attacking the Ender Dragon because I couldn't be asked. Yeah, so I just threw myself off the side. Yeah, I didn't know it did that until today when I walked into it because I'm an idiot. But it then spawns, if I was still back in the world and I hadn't been pulled through, you'll see it spawns like 30 or 40 Endermen. Also, when I died and it reset, for some reason, well, there was a bit of lag as soon as I arrived, so it was starting to blow itself up. But the cabling and everything broke, so I had to replace the entire setup, which is a little bit odd. So I guess be careful when you die is the message of that, because the wire just disconnected itself from everything and the launch gantry wasn't working in the slightest, and that had completely frozen, so I just had to destroy everything and restart, which is a little bit annoying. Once again, I'm not going to edit this because it's currently 8:10, and I can't be arsed and I need to go practice music and stuff. I'm still at school, don't shun me. So this won't be actually uploaded until tomorrow, and I'll record part 3 tomorrow as well, so I can get that up on Thursday. I'm going to apologise for the lack of videos over the past couple of months. I'm going to just upload non-stop this week, pretty much. Try and get a video out a day. Probably most of it will be VOLTZ. Just getting this working. My friend has Joseph's requested that I do a Let's Play actually legit build this, which I said fine to. Yeah, the console doesn't work. You have to smash everything and restart. And then I had to spawn a radio gun and assign the target because the target doesn't carry over. It's a bit confusing why it did this, and I don't know why, but whatever, really. So this is just me resetting. I don't know whether it's supposed to do that or whether it's a bug. I'm gonna assume it's a bug though. Oh yeah, also there was a series we started a little while ago called the James Plays Rayman thing, where I was commenting over it and chatting about rainbows. If you haven't watched it, yeah, go watch it, but we had terrible mics and bad computers when we did that. But we're gonna try and get some more of that. We're gonna try and get some Payday the Heist up because everybody's bought that now. I'm gonna try and do some Xbox stuff, so there will be videos up. This is kind of the explosions. Let's try and make up for it. I think that was either the EMP or the breaching. Yeah, that was the EMP. The EMP probably does stuff. Presumably it just scrambles all your electronics and breaks everything down. It has no fallout, so it doesn't create an explosion, and it doesn't damage things, I don't think. But again, you'd have to actually build something in the path of it to work out. So I think it's one of those that you would drop on your enemy's base, and it would just break everything inside, so they'd be useless. And then you follow in with something like whatever this is. I think this is either the cluster or the breaching. Yeah, that's the breaching. The breaching, level 2 breaching. Oh, is that not the breaching? I don't know. Oh no, that was the nuke. Okay, yeah, that was the nuke. I'll come to the breaching later or whenever, or maybe I didn't show it. I don't know. Yeah, the nuke. Compared to what I showed yesterday with the Spazzy nuke, it actually worked on this world and didn't produce just a Raji mushroom cloud. I don't know whether the mushroom cloud came back and I didn't see it, but it actually worked to effect. It doesn't create much of a hole. It destroys all the trees and poisons the landscape, and it's quite dynamic actually. It looks quite nice after it. I heard the explosion and I decided to walk back, but I couldn't see the mushroom cloud, and I think it was just resetting the landscape. And whenever they go off, they leave a weird sound bite for a couple of minutes, which is odd, and I don't know whether it's intentional. But there's a lot of things in this mod that happen, and you're not entirely sure if it's supposed to or not. Just put it that way. But yeah, at this point also the cable scrambled over at the solar generators, and I just couldn't be asked to go replace them, so I do everything from here on batteries. Is this the bunker buster? That's the bunker buster, I think. Is it? Is it? Is it, he said? Oh yeah, those two are just kind of souped up versions of the ones I've already seen. That's the breaching one, and the one that just fired again, and I think it was the contagious one. Probably just drops poison on the ground and affects mobs and you. Another one that you have to be in a game mode to see, but that is what it does. It'll poison or kill certain amounts of area. Those are the two boss ones that we're going to see next part. I've just got a couple left to do. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the breaching. So the breaching doesn't do side effect. It goes straight into the ground and drills you a hole down, which is you can imagine it being useful. You know, your friend's got a base. You drop a breacher through the roof. It goes straight through anything really, I think, and will lead you a straight path in. So then you follow up with a more destructive one that goes straight through the hole and explodes internally. So it's all about getting your targets, almost like a strategy going. And I've been talking for far too long, so my throat started dying. I think this is the cluster bomb. No, it isn't. I think that, yeah, once again, another one that I'm not entirely sure what it does. I may be just being an idiot when, yeah. Also, the nuclear effect seems to have a spazzy outcome of if you go too close to something affected by it, you just get stuck to it and it spazzes out, which is odd, to say the least. What's this? I think that's either the endothermic or the... No, it's not the... I'm so useless at this. I didn't pay attention enough half an hour ago when I did this to actually know what these are. But we'll find out. Okay, I think that's just like a battering ram. That it's like a bigger breacher, I guess, that just goes straight down in a bigger hole. So it's like an annihilation breacher, I guess. Set time to... yeah. That was... I was trying to reset the solar generators, but it was because of the cable, I realised. So this is one of the most destructive ones. One of the higher end destruction ones is the second highest red, which is the cluster bomb, which is a bit weird because it's not quite as powerful as I thought it would be, but you can imagine it becoming very powerful because you can see there it drops a line of missiles down, and I think they do like the damage of 5 TNT maybe, judging by the size of the hole. I wouldn't say 1, it might be 1, but it looks a bit more than 1. This is the nuclear cluster, the third most powerful missile in the game. This one will cause you to have a seriously bad day through radiation poisoning. It won't kill you by blowing your house to pieces. That's reserved for the next two. This one just annihilates your face because you need hazmat suits to mop up radiation. So this one I just caught. It seemed to drop a bit quickly, as you see, it drops down like that. And I'm like, oh, nothing's happened. Until it catches up with itself. And yeah, there. It's massive. And it will, and if you touch any of those blocks at all, you will start taking radiation poisoning, and the longer you're exposed to it without a hazmat suit, the more poisoning you get. So if you, and you can imagine having a spawn in there, you just be spawn murdered, which is really evil. So this is actually something really badly fucked up here, and I went back and it just broke. It was taking forever to actually place it. I might go back and retry this. But for now, at least, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. This has been part 2 of Andrew Plays VOLTZ. I will get part 3 and possibly 4. Well, I don't know if there'll be a part 4. Depends if it crashes or not. Part 3 up as soon as possible. Goodbye.